What is good, guys? Today I got another car review for you, so I think this is only appropriate. Come on, with me guys in chat. Car review. Car review. Car review. Okay, all jokes aside. So this is an NA JDM Miata Roadster MX-5. Wherever you're from in the world, you should know what this car is, no matter its name. Here in Japan, they call it a Roadster. I believe in the States, they're called Miatas. And in Australia and the UK, I think they're called an MX-5. And there's something very special about this one. First of all, it's Starburst Yellow, which is super rare. And the other thing is, it's Elbow Drift Hunters Miata or Roadster. Another really unique thing about it is Elbow went and swapped in an NB dash, which really kind of like makes the whole front section look new and awesome, but it confused the hell out of me. I drove this for the first time 2 days ago, and I've never driven an MX-5 before, or a Miata Roadster, whatever you're calling it. Let's just call it a Miata, okay? Let's just call it a Miata. Let's just get that out of the way. So I drove this for the first time, and I'd never driven one before, and we'll get to how much of a tight fit it is for me to get in here, but I was really confused by this dash, because it was like super curvy and nice, but then I was looking at these door cards, going, hang on a minute, something doesn't add up. So I shot him a message, and I was like, hey man, did you swap out the dash in this? Because I'm really confused at how new everything looks on the dash, but then the door cards look like, you know, an 80s, early 90s car. And he was like, oh yeah, I swapped it with the NB one. So that makes total sense. So let's get another look at it. So as you can see here, this is what made me realize that the dash probably wasn't meant for this car. Just the door card doesn't kind of match up to here. And then just the general kind of like feel of everything. And I noticed like a few lights didn't work and stuff on it. So it just made me realize that possibly it was switched out. And as you can see as well, like the steering column's kind of like a different plastic compared to everything about this dash. And the other thing is, it looks like the whole center console obviously has been swapped out as well. So it looks kind of nice. I really think it's flowy. It's got a nice like kind of half cage bolted in here. I know the camera's struggling with all the lighting differences. Obviously hard top, but he's still got the soft top there in the back. It's a nice yellow banana carpet here. And that's obviously the JDM flares down there. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's got one of these really cool drive topless forever. Look at that. I first read that when I jumped in it, and I thought it was like a joke with chicks, but it actually means to take the top off the car. Anyways, but that's it. It's a Starburst Yellow Miata. Like, I don't really know what else to say. He's running some super grippy Nankang. What are they? I think they're like, yeah, NS2Rs. So they're like kind of like a nice semi-slick. And some JDM wheels, I assume, but I don't see any brand names on them, and I don't know them off the top of my heart. But they have this little sad face kind of pressed into them, so that looks kind of cool. Overall though, the car's in pretty decent condition. A bit of paint fade here and there, but that can be fixed up with a nice cut and polish. I'm really quite amazed at how much of a go-kart this thing feels like on the road, and I'm really excited to kind of like maybe buy one in the future soon, and actually put a bucket seat in it so I fit in there better. We'll get to how I fit in there in a little bit. But there you go, the infamous Roadster badge there. And yeah, overall the car looks really good. It looks like exhaust tip wise, it's got a nice little kind of like 3-inch outlet there. But let's have a quick look in the engine bay. Let's pop the hood and take a quick squiz in there. So here is the engine bay, and as you can see here, it's an NA. So this will be the 1.6 litre motor. It's got a nice set of extractors on there. Looks like the badge there on there says Jasmine. And that's pretty cool. It's got a nice strut brace in the engine bay there, so that'll firm up the front. Might make it a bit understeery, but I haven't pushed it enough to know that yet. Obviously it's not my car, so I don't want to be smashing Toge. But overall, everything looks good. Got some silicon radiator lines there. Looks like a brand new AC compressor down there. So overall, I think, like, you know, the engine bay could just do with a nice degreasing and clean, like every car of this age probably needs. But I mean, it's a nice 1.6 litre motor, so it looks kind of cool. Lots of room for activities. You could do an SR20 swap in here. I'd love to get one and just do like a Yashio factory SR setup in this. I think it'd be super baller. But anyways, that's that, and let's stop talking, and how about we start driving? Alrighty. Now, let's get to the rear, let you guys hear that exhaust note on idle. Does anyone know what that ticking noise is? I want to fix that for Elbow because that's really driving me insane. If that's just a Miata thing, let me know in the comment section. Got a nice little idle there. I mean, it's a little bit kind of deep. I don't know. Okay, so I am sitting in this thing. I have my foot on the clutch right now, so my knee's a little bit far down. But I cannot slide this thing back any further. I'm in the furthest back position, and like I've got the seat as it won't go back any further for me. It's kind of like wedged on the cage kind of thing on the side here, so it will not go any further back. So if I was to, hang on, let's put this back in neutral, put the handbrake on. When I am driving this and my knee here is resting on the like little rester on the left hand side next to the clutch, my knee is here and there is literally just enough space for my fingers to fit between my leg and the steering wheel. It literally rubs on my leg every time I go to sim. So, I mean, there are a lot of mods that you can do as a tall person to fit in these cars better, like a proper bucket seat. I've even read up that a lot of guys, you can modify the steering column a little bit to bring it up a little bit higher, as well as bring it down depending on where you're at with the bucket seat. But definitely a proper like bride seat is necessary for tall people like me to fit in this kind of car. So anyways, enough of that being said, let's go for a nice ride and see what this thing feels like. I really want to fix that ticking noise. If any of you guys actually can give me some advice on what that could possibly be, let me know. And I'd like to look into that while I've got the car and Elbow's letting me kind of rental it, borrow it. I'd love to fix that for him. I think that'd be like a nice gift to give it back to him, because he said to me it's done that ever since he's owned it. All right. Okay, so for a little NA car, it's got a little bit of up and go, which I would expect because it's small and light. So head space, that's another thing. My head is kind of like maybe like 2 centimeters off from touching the roof. And if I lean this way, it definitely brushes on the roof. Like my hair is constantly touching the roof right here. All right, let's get out on this main road here and give it a bit of a go. All right, here we go. Yeah, okay. So first gear, it feels fairly zippy when you like give it some. And then when you come into second gear, it's just like, okay, any moment now, any moment now. It's very slow. So, I mean, it's a 1.6, you can't really expect much. And it's already got a couple good mods like extractors and things like that. It's on high octane fuel. So, I mean, I don't really know if there's much more you could do for the NA thing. I mean, obviously, like, keeping it healthy and giving it a really good, like, clean out, get all the carbon broken off, like the valves and stuff would help. It steers really nice. What about braking? Yeah, brakes really good. The pedal's pretty heavy, but that's kind of normal in these, I think. Okay, yeah. Wow, the feedback you get in the pedal, I really like that. It's not like super soft and squishy. It's, I don't know, it kind of reminds me like I don't have a booster. You know, when you do like a booster delete and you can really feel the feedback that your brakes are putting through to the pedal, like through the lines, the hydraulic lines. I don't know, the brake feels really, really good. I like it. It's really hard, so like you could really just like smack it. I'm a big fan of that. The clutch, really light, feels really, really light, and the way it kind of engages is all the way at the end. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a factory clutch. It's not an aftermarket one for sure. It doesn't have that firm kind of grippy feel that like an aftermarket upgraded heavy-duty clutch would. But I mean, it's okay. It just feels really super light for a hydraulic clutch. About the same as the Subaru, in all honesty, if I was to say that. And the pedal does have a little bit of play in it too, like before it even goes to start engaging the clutch. It's pretty responsive, hey. I don't mind it. I think this would be just an awesome fun car to just kind of like, yeah, it feels like a go-kart to me. I need to get to a little bit of a fun spot, so bear with me a moment. Here's something I haven't done in my car review videos before. Let's just do a quick check of the stereo, see what the speakers and everything sounds like.
okay. I'm gonna give him about a 7 out of 10 for the stereo. The stereo sounds pretty decent in this car. Looks like he's got some nice aftermarket speakers and a nice Pioneer head unit. Which I don't think he's got an amplifier. I think he's just you know, running the internal MOSFET amp out of the head unit. But it still sounds really good. So yeah, 7 out of 10 points for that. Now, I want to get to somewhere where there's a little bit of a fun road to kind of like feel this thing cornering and stuff. All right, so let's get into this a bit. Wow. It actually feels so good around the corners. Yeah, okay, I locked the tires up a bit on the brakes. Oh man, this thing feels great. Oh, I don't need to downshift, I'm already in second. Awesome. Yeah, this thing would be so much fun on the tailgate, like proper tailgate. Yeah, cause like, and even though I locked up, I think my front left tire there for a second, and it's still like I was in total control. These tires he's got on there, like tire and brake combo on this feels incredible. I'd definitely given that like 9 points. Oh man, yeah, we totally got to do, like, we've got to build one of these. Put a proper Bride in, like a ZF3, get me down and all the way back. We'll adjust the steering column, get like a nice SR in here. And I mean, we'll play around with the 1.8 liter, see if we can do a turbo conversion, like, you know, be the official JDM Miata, as they would say. But man, like, I can't fault this thing. Like, even though it's difficult for me to fit in this thing and my knees constantly bashing against the side of the dash here, it feels so good to drive. One thing that sucks is the e-brake on the opposite side. When I'm shifting, my elbow falls into the cup holder here and it opens all the time because that's just where my elbow sits. Look at that. So when I'm shifting, it's lifting the lid up and my elbow kind of gets stuck in here. So they're my two gripes. E-brake on the wrong side, but we can fix out the hydro here. Man, why does this thing feel so good? Man, I completely understand why there's such a cult following for these things. It's literally a go-kart on the streets. It feels so good. Like just weaving in my lane right now. There's so much grip, like, oh man. I wanna have fun with this thing. I wanna have fun. So let's get home. Let's talk about some things and wrap this up. In all honesty, I'd probably own it and not even do any of the mods because the joy that I get out of driving this thing outweighs how uncomfortable it is to drive. Like, you know what I mean? Like how much fun I have driving this thing and just turning into corners. Like it literally feels like a go-kart. That just completely makes me forget about how uncomfortable I am driving it and how I feel like a clown in such a small car. But anyways, let's shut this thing off. Let's get out and finish and wrap this up.
Okay, so that was heaps of fun. Hang on a second. There's something missing from this. Let's fix that really quickly. There we go. That's better. One of the official unemployed stickers. And look, that looks so good with the color of the car. Look at that. That looks awesome. Don't forget, guys, links down in the description. Get yourself an unemployed sticker. Or if you want one of the official SAMMIT Toge stickers, links down in the description. All the proceeds from these go into getting the R33.4 back on the road again and all repaired. So definitely get yourself one. So there you guys go. Now, in all honesty, I did not expect to enjoy driving this thing anywhere near as much as I did. I cannot get over how, despite how uncomfortable it is for me to sit in there, that it was just so much fun to drive. And now I feel like I really understand why so many people build these cars. Like, you know, obviously Chris Rice Miata, like he's a pretty tall guy. And I was like, man, what are you doing playing around with these small cars? And like, I always wondered, like, why do so many people in the States build and choose to use this as their race car? Now I understand why. Now I know why people are putting LSs in them, why people are doing SR swaps in them. It makes sense. It literally just feels like a go-kart on the street. I mean, they should do that Mario Kart thing in Shibuya and Tokyo City with these things rather than the actual karts. But man, my eyes have been opened. I can see the light now. I definitely want one. So yeah, I think you guys have heard me saying that I want one of these enough now, and that I really enjoyed it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this clap car review. Don't forget, leave a comment down in the comment section. Tell me what you guys thought of this video and what are your experiences with the Miata. Also, I'd love some advice on how to fix that clicking, ticking noise for elbow. I think it might just be like lifter issue, or even just an exhaust leak somewhere, like a gasket. But yeah, I'd love to fix that for him. But yeah, please tell me in the comment section, what do you guys think of the Roadster, the Miata, or the MX-5? I think it's literally just an awesome little car. And yeah, I think that about wraps it up. Don't forget to get some stickers, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to also like, comment, share, and subscribe. Ciao, matane.